In this video, I build a postmodern, mid-century inspired sculpture using brazed steel nails and scrap metal. This process covers brazing techniques, metal preparation, and how to design geometric industrial art from raw steel. All art starts with an idea. On a whim, I decide to break out my DIY bending jig I made 15 years ago from some nuts and bolts and a piece of plywood I found in the trash. Look more closely, and you will see that I sourced 3/8-inch bolts and stacked matching washers to create a rigid forming post. Here I took a piece of 1/8-inch steel plate that I needed to make a tiny shim to elevate a component of my sculpture. Notice that I only cut it so I could snap it off with pliers instead of losing it on the ground. Now the fun part. Let's get to brazing the decorative elements to the curved steel. I am using my larger number 6 welding tip because I am focusing mostly on the thick 3/8-inch steel square bar. Once it's up to brazing temperature, the thinner plate will reach temperature in short order. Here is a series of still shots of the shim under the triangular accent. This clip shows all the strategic brazed joints completed and cleaned up. You'll see the stepped joint created over the shim stock. Later on, I decided to add some nails that I coated with the bronze to balance the sculpture. Here I am using steel welding wire to make mounting clips I will braze to the sculpture to make it dimensional and cast cool shadows on the wall. After I wrap the wire around a steel bar secured in my vise, I use pliers to pinch the wires together to form a loop. I bend the loop in a right angle. It is easier to overbend it than back it off until the desired angle is reached. A 4-pound engineering hammer is used to persuade the wires to take the desired shape. These are my 3 mounting loops ready to go. Before I show how the clips are brazed on, I want to show my homemade brazing flux. It is basically potassium tetraborate. Ignore the label, it's a typo. I made it to reduce the glare caused by sodium-based fluxes. Also, the glassy deposit formed when brazing is easier to remove than store-bought fluxes containing fluorides. To get the clips on the sculpture, I first have to pick locations to put them and lay down a bead of bronze. I do not know why I didn't just go back to my larger number 6 welding tip, as this would have been faster. This is a great way to spend a Sunday in the spring. After fluxing my rod, I will now place beads of bronze on the mounting loops. Each one of the 3 loops will get some bronze on it. Next, I will preheat the loops to take the flux. Then I will use the torch to melt the bronze bead on the sculpture and the bead on the mounting loop. Getting the 2 beads to coalesce into one can be a little tricky. So with the torch maintaining the heat, additional flux can be added a little at a time. Additional bronze can be added to assist with the flow.
That will do it.
Okay, here is the sculpture with all 3 hooks mounted on. It still needs to be sanded, wire brushed and cleaned up. Here is the finished sculpture, all cleaned up with satin clear. Please subscribe to receive more artistic themed videos.